benefit, we record all the meetings, so anything you say will go out on YouTube, etc. So,
Okay.
assume you
Right.
want to speak. So, this thing here records. So. Okay, so here we go for tonight's F&GP meeting. So the apologies book is there, 22, 23, 167. To note apologies for absence, we've got two. We've got Councillor Carney and Councillor Curdale.
Second that, yep.
Okay,
All in favour?
all in favour? Yeah, thank you. 22, 23, 168 to receive declarations of interest from councillors for items on the agenda. Have we got any?
No, not from me.
Okay. Written requests for dispensations for disclosable pecuniary interest.
Non-received.
Non-received. Okay. So moving on then to 22, 23, 169, the minutes. Has anybody got any corrections to the minutes of the last meeting?
I wasn't here, so I can't correct anything, in truth.
No, I'm waiting to see if John's
Yeah, I
happy.
was gonna say.
That's what I
I've just got to say that at the last meeting I flagged something up and I said I didn't say that or something, and the reason it wasn't in the allotments bit is because it was in the public participation, but that's last meeting, so
Did
Yeah.
that not get corrected in the
no
agreed ones?
because it was because I said forget about it because I
right.
thought I was mistaken, but it was there in the public
Oh, right,
participation.
okay.
You follow what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
no,
what
and
you
it
mean.
was to do with the trees. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm.
So the last one's all right.
Yeah, fine.
Do you want to propose them?
Yeah, can
I'll
we?
second it again.
All in favour?
Okay, no.
Them that were here?
Then that were here, yeah.
Yeah.
Another dig.
Only those people
Yeah.
can speak.
Right, confidential.
Okay, 22, 23, 170, confidential items to be discussed after item 22, 23, 179. Is there anything that people think needs to be moved? Needs to be discussed in confidence?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. And we shall move swiftly on to 22, 23, 171, public participation. Members of the public, as we've got some, I'll read all this out tonight. Members of the public are reminded that this is their opportunity to speak to the meeting on any topic relevant to the work of the council. However, they may not speak during the rest of the meeting unless specifically invited to do so by the chair. Generally, I'm fairly flexible, but if there's anything you want to say to us,
There
sir?
was a discussion point on the minutes I noticed about Stanley Street. The allotments have been split into two. Was it number 2? Who came to that conclusion?
All right.
Because it's been so. Oh,
Sorry.
the allotment Stanley
Yes,
Street.
yeah, absolutely. It's been a town council policy now because we've got such long waiting lists both in Beck Lane and in Stanley Street to split allotments where appropriate.
Right.
So we've been to look at plot 2 at Stanley Street, and there's a path down the middle. So we were suggesting that everything on the left is one allotment and one on the right is the allotment. So instead of having 2 plots on Stanley Street, we'll now have 3.
Three.
Nice, okay.
Have
I
you-
was just wondering, you've answered the question.
Right, good.
All
Okay, yeah.
Right.
And to me more, it'll be quite adequate if it's there's a greenhouse on both, and it'd be quite adequate if it were cultivated correctly.
Split between,
Yeah.
What were
okay.
your specific concerns, can I ask, please?
Well, I've got the one at the top.
Ah, right.
That's all. And I was
Right.
wondering, what the problem is, or what
No,
the reason
no,
is
it's not a
for
problem. It's just a policy. It's just a policy change.
right.
Yeah.
Has it been taken up yet or taken over?
I sure. You know,
Yeah.
it's not been taken over yet, but
We need to split it, don't we, first? It needs to be.
no, it doesn't need to be
Don't
split.
it need to be split then?
No,
Alright.
not fenced or anything, because
No.
you've got a
The
central
path.
path, so basically both plots can use that path and get to either of the greenhouses. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's ready to be let.
When I answered that, I wasn't sure whether it had been vacated or not, because it's been an ongoing thing about clearing the site.
Yes, Jeanette has done her best.
She's
She's had problems with work and
we've been to look at it since, and it looked pretty good. We've left with it having no water on site, we've left all the battles, and because
Yes.
you probably need them.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
But there's a hut there, so they'll have to share the hut or something.
Well, that'll depends which side it is. If it goes on one side, it'll belong to that one. If it goes on that side, it belongs to the other one.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Anything else you want to ask us about? This is your opportunity.
No?
No?
Thank you.
Ray?
No, you're right.
Blimey. Sorry. Okay, we will move on, and generally for this next item, Ray normally has things to, but it is allotment, so if there's anything that occurs to you, then I'm quite happy for you to join in.
Chip in, right.
Chip in. So what we've got is 22-23-172 allotments, to receive an update on allotments and to agree any actions, including the following. To agree the annual rent increase for allotment rents for 23-24 in line with the Consumer Price Index.
Proposed.
Do we know what the CPI is?
What's
Yeah,
else is done?
10.4%.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what month we take it from though.
It's from April, isn't it?
What's the amount now, please?
I'm not sure.
What the rents?
Yeah.
Different
it's-
ones have different amounts, don't they, because of water and because of no water and stuff.
No, aren't they all the same?
All the same, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah.
think they're all the same. I think
They're
this
all
has
being
got
the same.
the last tenancy agreement sort of said £67 and something like
So you
4.
look
An increase of like £6.57.
They generally increased according to
69.87.
the CPI, aren't they, every year?
Yeah.
And an increase of 10%.
Well, that's what pricing. That's
Yep.
that's the policy. That's the,
CPI is
Yeah.
the policy. It's just what month we take it from, and
I'm pretty sure it's April.
so we.
oh, so it didn't. I thought CPI were
It's
CPI.
published. It's published every month.
Oh,
they're
well,
rolling,
well,
they're rolling,
They're all
John.
published
Right.
every month.
They roll on.
The 10.4% I'm working on is what the energy companies and things are putting things up, which is telephone companies, which is stated at 10.4% plus 3.9%.
So we need to check what we've
the
got of
Okay.
CPI and
Can I
what month it comes from.
Can I propose that we increase it with the CPI as appropriate?
I'll second that.
All in favour? Yeah.
Right, so that's the one. To consider the splitting and letting of Plot 2 Stanley Street and Plot 7A Beck Lane.
Right. Stanley Street, we've sorted. 7A wants a look at, because I went to look at it yesterday, and I'm not au fait exactly with what I'm splitting, if you know what I mean.
No.
You don't know what I mean.
Which one's 7A, John? Sorry.
Pardon?
Which one's
Set
7A?
it,
I know it's difficult.
it's anyway. It's irrelevant at the moment. Just
I've got this.
for the minutes.
It's
Is
old.
that an up to date one?
No, it's an old one.
Oh well, that's where my problem was, because I
All right.
went with an original one, which were way out of date. If you want to look, Andrew. So that's locks. That's cafe.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh, it's an internal one.
There, yeah,
Runs
yes,
onto the
there.
fence, yeah.
Yeah, but it's already been split from a full plot into two,
Right.
and that one's splitting. I went to look at it, as I say, but I don't just know exactly where that barrier is. Yeah,
Nor did I.
no.
Right.
Okay, so
So it needs
for-
it needs a further visit.
the other thing is, which I did ask staff today, is whether it had already been vacated, and that we weren't sure about that. So
I think that were they the one that wrote to us that said they were moving away.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it is.
I'm not sure from them
vacated.
now.
so we need to know
Exactly.
When they're leaving.
what they're doing. So
Yeah.
and we'll have something positive on that. And then the third, that's it, isn't it? For the
That's it.
splitting.
I don't know of any other plots that
No.
have become vacant anywhere. No.
No.
Okay. To receive an update on the progress with plots 23 and 27 at Beck Lane?
Well, I can answer for plot 23, nothing, and I'll have to leave it to Andrew for plot 27.
Plot 27, all I can do is apologise, but my assistant is ill, as we all know. And he's adamant that he wants to do it, so it should be no more than 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
So we'll get on with that. To receive an update on the progress with the review of the allotments policy. We did send it out with
Yeah, I've got a copy, yeah.
the changes, so I mean, I know John and I and Andrew and I have been through it. We can't finalise it yet because the other thing that we have done is we've sent out a consultation
To all the other,
to the Beck Lane
yeah.
allotment holders. I think it's the 20th we've said for feedback on that, and then we'll see where that takes us.
Have you had any feedback on to date?
We've had a bit, but
Yeah.
it's
Sketchy.
we've only had about half the people, so it depends, you know.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's even half the people, is it?
No,
No.
so we'll see what else comes
Comes
in
back,
and, what,
yeah.
and what the general feedback and direction
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and see where that takes us. But we do need to agree the policy so that everybody, when they come to the new allotment year, if you like, knows what we're sticking to. So it does have changes in it, like reducing use of plastic, etc. But you've seen it anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a
So,
copy, yeah.
yeah. Okay, and then to consider further the request for local brownies to visit Beck Lane. Does anybody?
I don't think there's a problem there, because I say they've got a risk assessment and they're insured, which is the main thing.
We haven't seen it though.
No, but we can ask to see it,
We
can't
can
we? They
ask to
said
see
they
it
have it
prior
in
to-
place. I would have thought
yeah.
the brownies would have, given the
Yeah.
where they operate.
Well, it only seems now to be, it's what, 2 evenings for an hour and a half.
I'm keen to encourage the younger people going on
Yeah, no.
to doing the gardening, etc. Because, as we know, things from volunteers are
Yeah.
few and far between.
Dwindling, yeah.
And it also requests to use the communal plot, which is, I think, the last proposed visit as was it 31st of July or something like that. We're not likely to do anything with that before then. So I'd propose that we accept it subject to the risk assessment.
Excuse me, Chair, would it be possible to ask these gentlemen behind me what their view is? Seeing
Yeah.
that they're on the allotments.
But one of them's on one allotment and the other one's...
Would you have an issue with it? No? Would your good self, sir? No.
I think it's up to us, Andrew.
Yeah, I know, but it's...
Yeah,
I think it's a
absolutely.
good idea, so, yeah.
So I think, okay, so
I
are we
propose
proposing that we...
As long as
We'll
the health
give
and
them-
safety angles are
we give
covered.
them
As long as the
permission?
documentation's produced, there's no problem.
I've got
I'll
no
second
problem with
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think we just do need to write to all the allotment holders at Beck Lane and tell them of the dates, just so they're aware,
Right.
and ask to see the risk assessment prior to the first visit.
But hasn't it been coordinated by one of the allotment holders?
The person, as far as I know, so sorry, Chair. The person that has the allotment is the lead.
He's a coordinator, Will.
One of the brownie leaders.
Oh, right, I didn't know, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
So they're going onto a plot.
Yeah, oh, that's fair enough,
They're
yeah.
planting on a plot.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is we should write to all the other Beck Lane allotment holders so that they
So
know that the brownies are going
There's
to
going to be a
turn
lot
up.
of kids there.
Yeah,
That's the thing, well, isn't it? You said there were 12?
Under 14th, is it?
Pardon?
You said there were 12 kids?
16, I think
16,
it said,
no,
yeah.
no.
Is it on 2 days? Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
2 days.
They come one day
Yeah.
and plant up and stuff, and then they come again and water or something,
Oh,
and they come
right.
again
but
to
they're
see the
never coming.
progression.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
never coming to pick
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, well,
unless that's going to follow.
yeah, that's nice. Look.
Okay, so
Right.
that's us done for allotments.
yeah.
Feel free to stay. Feel free to leave if you're
Yes, yeah.
you've got better things to do. Thanks, Ryan.
See you later.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers.
See you later, Mo.
Bye-bye.
It's that thing that looks
You know
like a
him,
light
don't
switch, Jen.
I know who he is.
Oh, right,
Yeah. Well, I do know respect you see his name. So it's Helen's husband.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, moving on then.
Yeah.
22-23 173 bank reconciliations, etc. So first to consider and approve the bank reconciliations for February.
Yeah,
Yep.
I propose that, yeah.
No, that's a problem there.
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
opposed,
Yeah.
seconded,
I'll
all
go
in
with it.
favour? Yeah.
Yeah.
To consider and approve the bank statements for February.
Again,
yeah.
straightforward, no problem.
Oh, there was something I wanted to.
Go on,
yeah.
John.
Oh, it didn't hear though, is it? It would have figure that I didn't understand where it came from.
Actually on the bank statement.
Yeah, yeah,
I can find it.
it was a big one. It was an income thing, I think.
Is
I
that
don't
the
think
what?
Was
The
it
bank
the public
reconciliation.
sector?
Say?
Was it the public sector deposit fund?
No, they're about 400, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a big one.
That's the reconciliation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it the legal? We got some money back from them about the insurance.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
That'd be it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
So we've had some money in for the
Yeah.
CP toilet as well.
Yeah, I
haven't we?
saw that one 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I saw that clear enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a big odd amount on
Right.
the income side that I noticed. Yeah. So that's it then. Yeah. Thank you.
And then what we've got, because I asked for it, is to note the 22-23
Oh, yes,
projected
yeah,
year-end
yeah.
figures. Has anybody got any questions and queries on that big set of numbers?
Well, what do you think as regards overall? I mean, it looks as though we're about sort of on track to me.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously there's some things that's well over budget and some things that's well under budget, but
but I was just
as
after.
an overall figure,
Yeah, Andrew, I think you've got it at the back.
Yeah, it's on these figures here, isn't it?
Yes, so I mean,
Thank you.
for me, it's just probably your second page, the end bit where we've got income and expenditure, where we've got currently we've got a balance, but then we've got projected expenditure. So we've got £46,000 at the moment.
Yeah.
As income over expenditure, but we've got commitments of 31,000.
Yeah,
so
so
we should finish the year reasonably.
Yeah, and this was taken from the end of February.
Yeah.
So the balance is £20,000 less than that now because of the money that was spent in the last 4
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
So we should end up reasonably
Cost
balanced.
neutral, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which is about
which is
it's
where
good.
which is
Where
ideally where we want to
yeah,
be. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
But I just wanted us to see that
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah.
ensure that we're happy with where
Yeah.
we're gonna end up. Yeah. Okay. And then to note the bank balances to date.
Yeah, so the balance of the Unity Bank today is £27,784.25. So yeah, if you think it's end of March, end of the year, it's a good job we got that CP money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Job
we
it
just
came in, yeah.
started to transfer stuff, wouldn't we? Yeah,
And the public sector deposit fund, there's been no change. There's 143,334
Yeah.
in there.
Okay. So we'll move on then. 22-23 174 green and
Clean and clean.
Before we launch into it,
Yeah, good. Absolutely, 100%. Carry on.
At a meeting, I was at the Ward Partnership
Yeah,
meeting today, where Canal and Rivers Trust have turned up to inform us that they are going to be removing the litter bins from the canal.
Oh, there?
Yeah.
What's the reason for that?
Saving
Trust.
money. Which is obviously going to create.
Well, that's crazy.
Which is obviously
It's a
going to.
backward move, isn't it?
Which is obviously going to create a problem. They are writing to all the councils to see if they want to take the litter clearance on and the bins on before they physically remove the bins. But if not, they are planning on physically removing the bins.
Is it possible we
I
could
think-
retain the bins in our section?
I think it's an excellent thing for me because I'll just say next letter picks
I
up
know.
on cut. I won't have to think where.
Well, it's
where
just
we're
which bit of canal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might-
Yeah.
it might be.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a watching brief.
Is it worth our while sort of investing in keeping the litter bins there and try and organise some means of getting it collected?
Interestingly, can I say what Ben said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lad who's, anyway, lad came along who's thinking of sort of doing a bit off his own
Back.
bat.
Yeah.
You know, like starting up on his own,
Yeah.
and he's suggesting that he went to Canal and River Trust and asked them if they would leave the bins there, and he would empty them if they would sponsor his new business on their bin. So that's just a suggestion. It could.
Well, if they won't take it up, should we take it up?
Yeah.
I mean, from our point of view, I mean, I think it's crazy taking bins away. It's just
Yeah.
going to be a complete mess because people throw stuff anywhere.
Yeah,
If they see a bin, they will at least try and drop it in
Yeah.
there, won't they?
Yeah.
If there isn't one, they just
yeah.
It is, but if we take it up, we need to think about exactly what that means.
Oh no, I'm saying, yeah, we want to look into it deeper, but
Because
I mean, I
that
think
means we've either got to, as volunteers ourselves, go and empty the bins and then take that stuff away,
Yeah.
and
That.
which
That-
makes us a waste
but
carrier.
would this lad collect it if we paid him?
Pardon?
Would this guy who,
Well, this is good. Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a way around it, wouldn't it, if he that's what he wants to
Yeah,
do?
well, yeah.
But I mean, it's not on the agenda for tonight. I'm just
No,
telling,
no,
just
yeah,
telling
no,
you because
no.
they said it's today, and
Yeah,
it,
it's
it
fine,
will
yeah.
it will come back, so we can
So that'll,
think about it in the background.
definitely, yeah,
We need to know how many bins there is, won't we? So it just needs a walk on, doesn't it?
yeah, from
And
where,
then-
where
and then
Bingley
take it
bit
on.
starts and where it finishes.
But the main thing is that the bins are left, isn't it?
Yes, oh yeah, we want to
Initially.
retain the bins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, whose responsibility is it at the moment? Is
It's
it?
in our
Canal
River
River
Trust.
River Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What about
what's-
Bradford Council? Were they part of that meeting?
Yeah,
That you were,
yeah.
And what they?
Well, it's
That's
the
their
wrong
kind of-
part, you know.
Oh.
But we know
They've no
Bradford,
resources, come on.
we know Bradford Waste.
I know.
We're
Yeah.
trying to save money by closing Keighley Tip. You know, it's like everybody's looking for
But we've got
savings.
to come to Dowling Gap,
See-
isn't it?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but it might be counterproductive for Bradford not to take it on, because then they'll get the environmental responsibility in all probability for
But they do it on the land, do they?
no.
That's true. Yeah.
So there's,
Well, I don't know, because generally Canal and Rivers Trust don't own a lot of land.
oh, don't they?
They own the sort of from the towpath into the canal, but not
Not from
necessarily
the clear
that.
path back to the wall.
Not necessarily that one.
Is that right? Oh, I would have thought they'd own everything, it's
Yeah.
full cut.
Yeah, I think it varies from place to place.
Oh, well, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we should, look, I know it's not for this meeting, but I think we should look constructively at trying to take it on board so we don't have a mess.
I
So we
agree
can
with that.
advertise about it,
Without a
can't we?
doubt.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it is
It's
going
just going to end up a tip.
Yeah.
it's going to create a problem.
Just to
Why are they doing it? I
answer
can't believe that.
So
Yeah.
Just answer Ashraf's.
Yeah.
Canal and this is past, but
Yeah.
there were a lot of trouble, and basically Canal and River Trust.
Yeah.
It's been their responsibility, but they have a contractor who empties it, and then they changed the contractor, and there were problems. But it's obviously cost, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
it
cost,
is
yeah.
costing,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, it's a national contract that they're just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to cut down.
Well, that's the trouble with national contracts, isn't it?
Mm.
Good in one area, not so good in others.
Yeah, okay.
That's interesting.
Sorry to hijack. Glenn.
It's all right. No, I've arranged the next little pick, which is this coming Saturday at the top of Queen's Road. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. We'll have to just wait and see. I made a bit of a mistake because it should have been down at Wagon Lane area again, end of Ely Lane, because there's a patch near the opposite Dally Gap tip that wants some attention that we couldn't get to in the summertime, and if we wait till anyway, I'll sort something out with that. With one particular person that's comes regularly, we're concerned about it.
Right.
She's written to me when she saw that I'd put Queen's Road, but I'd got mixed up with the.
Right.
I should have done it
Yeah.
there and then next one, but there we go. What else is there? I don't know. I think we sorted. If I think about what else I'm.
So on here we've got residents' request for planting of trees on Main Street.
Well,
Where they exactly are they on Main Street?
well,
Well, I think they just
would-
said Main Street. Can
Yeah.
we have some planting?
Because
on
as
Main
you'll know,
Street?
I'm all for trees,
Uh,
but planting them in a pavement or near a
well,
road,
well,
as we
that
can see, it does damage to the pavements,
Well-
it does damage to the highways, it does damage to drains.
thinks, yeah.
All for it if they were in this bit of
Think-
grass here,
Think,
but
think
at the side of the road, now we've only got to look at outside Beckfoot School for an example,
yeah.
when there was that horrendous crash,
Yeah,
the council thought about removal
yeah,
of those existing cherry trees.
yeah, but, yeah.
So I can't see any point. You now need to know where specifically
I-
the idea is.
Can I answer it, please?
Yes.
I would suggest that it's where they've taken them out in the main street. There was some question why they should have been taken out in the first place. Where the old post, where
Post office, yeah.
postage used to be, down Main Street. I think that's the answer, Andrew. I don't know anything.
That's only one tree, isn't it?
As far as I know, yeah,
I'd have concerns about the area, where to put it,
yeah. Anyway, that's
type of tree, everything else.
yeah,
Just as a matter of interest, the watering of plants, John.
yeah,
We obviously have the plants put in by Carlton.
yeah.
But who does the watering?
Bradford Council have a 3-year contract. We've finished 1 year. There's 2 more years to come.
Right, so they do all of the watering.
And it's the Bradford Council one's a fixed cost.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right, yeah.
fixed cost for the 3 years. Carlton's is a fixed cost, but not a fixed cost. Is an increasing cost, but it's all we have it all.
Yeah,
It's a
but-
contractual
It's a
cost,
contract.
but it's
Contractual
already
cost,
written
yeah.
in, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
how much
yeah.
it's
Well, I
going
thought
up.
Carlton did the watering.
They did originally, but that was the whole point. They gave up. They said they were happy to do that, but they didn't want to water anymore.
Oh, didn't? Oh, is that what they said?
Oh yeah,
All right,
absolutely,
all right,
yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's in fact how it all came to Bradford Council is that when we had the opening of this place,
Yeah.
I spoke to Damien Fisher, and he in turn spoke to Brian Dobson, and they came up with a
So do they have a schedule where they go to water? I mean, like, I'm just thinking in the village, we've got two.
yeah.
To,
they've done
tubs
it
with
last-
plants
they've done
in.
it last year, so
Do they wa-
I don't know whether they're 100%, but that's sort of
It's been mentioned to me that they
up
haven't,
to. Pardon?
been mentioned to me that they haven't been watered.
Well, this is something that if it gets mentioned in the future, if we've got the water,
well, yeah, I mean,
because that was a
that's
problem at the
yeah.
end of the that we flag it up and
Yeah.
tell them.
Do
There
we
was
have a-
there was one day and it came to me and within an hour they were on it.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
Is that right, Eve? Do you remember? No, I think Nicola dealt with it.
Do
There you go.
they actually water 12 months of the year? Because I
No,
thought
no,
we had
no,
a
no,
conversation
no,
where
no.
they didn't water in winter.
No. There's no wintering. There's only
Some-
two lots of bedding. So there's
Yeah.
summer bedding and winter
So
bedding.
it's only the summer stuff.
It's only the
gets
summer
watered.
stuff,
It's
yeah,
only, it's only the summer stuff that gets
Yeah, yeah,
done.
yeah.
And also the winter bedding is different because there's no hanging baskets. They're all taken down. It's just the barrier
Yeah, yeah.
planters and the tubs. that
That's
are
fine.
done.
Thanks. No, I just wanted to know
It's
that.
fine. Yeah,
There's some confusion.
yeah. Glean and clean. Oh yes, there is. I missed C.
Has anything been decided about the planting of the trees then?
Well, what can we? I don't know. That's to me. That's highways. You'd have to consult highways.
I think from our perspective, without further information as to exactly what they want, our suggestion is that they contact Bradford. I think that's it.
Well, if it's on the side of the road,
Because it's
Yeah,
not,
it's
not
not
our
land.
land.
That's brilliant.
We've no jurisdiction over that area, have we?
Yeah.
just in the front of the trees in Main Street. So to me, it's highways, isn't it?
It is highways, yeah.
So yeah, let it go then.
For the moment,
Right.
unless they come back to us with something.
Update on the Green and Clean Forums. Now we've planned it for, I think it's the 29th of April. However, at this moment the proposed speaker isn't available on the 29th of April. However, again, trying to get an alternative speaker for that one, and then this other guy will come back at another date. But at the moment it's I should have asked Debbie today if the latest, but that's where we are at this moment. So we might have to sort of cancel it, postpone it,
Yeah.
and rejig it. I don't know what the situation. I know it's. I don't know what the situation is as regards the projector that we suggested for Green and Clean as well. So I don't know where we are with that.
Well, you still have that one that I've plenty, haven't you? I've got from village.
Somewhere, yeah. It was just
Did it work all right?
we didn't use it.
Oh, well,
apparently.
what if you didn't use it?
No.
After all that,
There was one in there, Mark.
No.
There was one in there in Cardigan House. That's the one that.
All right, right.
But it wasn't adequate, if you like. It were
What, the one that were in there?
yes, it wasn't adequate. So it was my suggestion that we invested in one, so that we, for example, at the town meeting last year, Friends of Metal Park wanted to do a presentation and they couldn't because they didn't have a projector. But if we have one, we could use it. I mean, I don't know what the situation is regards the one that you.
Yeah, you can use it. No, we don't use it.
No,
We don't
I-
use it. It's just that it's the property.
Yeah.
Because we've got an overhead projector in the screen on the ceiling and project down the screen, so we
Right.
don't need it that from that point of view.
Right. Yeah.
Unless we do a road show and we don't do them. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm sure we did agree that we would buy one, but we should try out the
Try
free,
this one
the
out,
free
you can
one
have- yeah.
first. Yeah.
it's on a permanent loan, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. Okay. As I say, it was only because this one were, and I thought at the time it was one that you provided.
No, no, not that one. No, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
So,
we,
that
so we
covers
just
that.
need to check.
And
Just
so,
check it out.
Yeah.
It should be all right.
And so we'll see how it goes as regards, and we'll let the public know as and when on social
Okay.
media, etc.
Yep.
If there's any change in the not neighbourhood forums, you know.
Green and clean for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
We
yeah.
can move on from that.
Thanks,
Yeah.
John. So 22, 23, 175. SIL funding.
Right.
Receive an update or including progress on the bandstand.
Well, you have the update. You have the.
I don't.
You don't. Well, it was mentioned in this meeting this morning.
No, I mentioned we were going to do it.
But I've had the conversation since then that it's been minuted that it's going to Mike Priestley to give a S whatever it is.
Is it
What
Mike,
is-
Mick Priestley then that needs to give the
I think
approval?
he was the name that was mentioned
Right.
as being the person to go to.
I spoke to. I just happened to be here this afternoon when they came from this meeting.
Yeah.
I came in to see, and Andy Alderson. I said, "Can you flag this up?" And he said, "It isn't Brian Dobson. It'll be Mike Priestley who does that sort of thing because he's getting them to do something to do with Manshed, something to do with that shelter that was suggested, and then the bandstand."
Yeah. So I mean, they said that would be the person to go to because we
Yeah.
know Brian Dobson hasn't come back to us
No, but
to say where we should go. So
But-
we'll go.
right, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what it said, and they said it anyway. It's been minuted in the meeting, so
Well, fine.
it'll
Well, he writes the minutes.
oh, Andy wrote the minutes.
Andy writes the minutes.
It's in the minutes then. Yeah. And then regarding, just excuse me, regarding the job at Cottonley, it is an unbelievably excellent job. Excellent. The walls round the.
They've done it.
I noticed they were on with it.
Yeah.
Went
They,
up last night.
They just need to clear off. They finished. They were there 2 full weeks doing it. They've made an excellent job.
Well, that's good.
And they just have to clear. They finished on Monday. They just have to, when wagons available, just have to clear it off. They've done a proper job. They have fencing around it and dug it all out. And so I don't get impressed, but I'm impressed.
All right. Okay.
And the other one, of course, we've committed the other money, and hopefully we'll get a conclusion from that.
Yeah, that wasn't SIL, was it? That was just grant money for the
No.
chairs.
No, we're talking about SIL money now.
Oh,
The rest of the SIL money is earmarked for the bandstand.
yes,
Yeah? So it's all.
but we need to progress the bandstand, and I think based on some of the concerns at full council, we do need to think, get together a body of documentation that is exactly what we think is going to happen. I mean, I walked around the bandstand today, and where is the electric point going to be?
Where's the most suitable point? Yeah.
Yeah, how's it going through the park? We're short of info as to what.
Why are we trying to? I don't get all this. I still believe we're making it.
No, because if you look
I
at
know
stuff like this building, we constantly have problems with it, and we have no recourse because we don't have sufficient documentation as to what people were asked to do, how they've done it, and then what we should be getting them to fix.
Well, Bradford own it, don't they? It's
Exactly.
and we need them to
But-
come back with a proper
Well,
statement to us to say that.
Well, this is
They're
what
happy
it is.
for it
What,
to go
what do
ahead.
you call it? This.
But if this Mick Priestley comes to us and says, Bingley Town Council, you're asking me for this SLA, tell me what you've asked us to do.
Yeah. Where's
We've
your
got
business case for what you're doing?
We've got to go back to Bradford's own people to get the documentation because we don't actually have copies of it
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
Yeah.
Do it. We actually don't know the spec that the people quoted against.
No.
All I'm saying is
What-
we should just get all this stuff in a file somewhere. So
There must be a
this
proper
is-
spec so it's
this is-
identified.
This
eh?
is exactly what we're getting.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to sign off on because it is our money. We are going to have to sign off on it.
Right, okay.
And you can't just put it in without some. Well, it wants to be done in a proper manner, so it's properly.
Once the-
Oh,
Planned out
I'm
in the
sure it
business.
will be because it's through their general contractors or whatever. But we don't. I don't think we know what we think we might be buying.
There should be a little project document.
So I think we need to pull some of these things together to look at, so we know exactly what we're getting and exactly what we're
Yeah,
getting.
well, yeah.
And if someone asks us, we can show it to us.
So,
So who's
how-
liable for it if at the end of the day if anything goes wrong?
Well, that's part of why we said we need to go back to Brad to get the SLA because we want them to be completely liable for everything
Yeah,
once we've
yeah,
put it in. So we put up the money, get it
Trouble is,
installed,
you can't have a shared responsibility on something like that.
and then we go like that. But then, if we're spending Bingley's money and the first that comes along pulls something out and Bradford never fix it, that's not what we want, is it?
Well, that's why the problems arise, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get split responsibility. Bradford will say, you did that.
And it's
No, you did it.
and
then
it's almost the bandstand itself. The surface in it isn't brilliant.
No, I gather not. No,
There's a couple of wobbly bits, and the whole thing. If we were doing this, if money was no object, and City of Culture
It is.
I know it is, and City of Culture 2025 was coming along, you would expect Bradford to be doing a complete refurbishment of that bandstand, so
Yeah.
so that it is the main feature in the park and.
yeah,
looks-
make it look attractive. Yeah,
Looks attractive, because at the moment
put lighting in and everything.
it looks slightly
It's just-
decrepit.
yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Well, it's like all of their facilities that they
Yeah.
have around the district. It's the same.
Well, it isn't though, is it? Because Roberts Park, they've got a big grant for that. Unfortunately,
Bingley gets nothing,
Myrtle Park, because it hasn't got that historic value, they can't get the funding for like Heritage Lottery or anything like that, where Roberts Park did, you see.
Yeah.
And they spend it, you know.
But if they have
Anyway,
these parks, they should look to maintain them, shouldn't
Well,
they? It's as
yeah.
simple as that. I mean, it's not.
I mean,
not
I don't know what
rocket
happened. I don't know what happened to refurbishment of all these parks. I know they've got this is what through Manningham Park, and they've got that were the flagship of this 3 million that we're going to spend on all these parks, refurbishing the equipment and stuff. As far as I'm aware, they haven't done anything in Bingley Park that I'm aware of. I don't know, but they've
Yeah.
completely done, changed all Manningham Park ones. So we're there,
Would it help to get a parks representatives for the council to come and talk to us about their feelings on this?
Well, it's sort of a different department. It's a woman called Jill Bennison that originally. I went to a meeting with Friends of Myrtle Park and this Jill Bennison
It's
who
quite a
outlined
project.
this, but it's probably 3 years ago
Yeah.
now. That all that money will have gone now. So, but anyway, yeah. So we need to progress it ASAP.
So we need to progress it. We need to
But
pull
how are you suggesting we go about that?
getting the documentation. I think we need to write to the guy who gave us Mick Priestley anyway to say, you know, we want the SLA. We need to write to the guy who got us the quotes to say, give us the spec that you got the quotes
Yeah, yeah.
against, and
Yeah, so-
give us the drawings.
So you can document it, yeah.
So give
Yeah.
us all the documentation so that we know what we're paying for. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing for us
The big
to do.
worry I've got is will Bradford take responsibility for it?
Well,
Well, they've already said in an email that in principle they would, because I wrote an email.
But would that come back from Parks, John?
that's come back from Brian Dobson, who's Parks.
Yeah, but this other
But
guy
this
might be
other-
above him.
this other-
It might say-
Yeah.
Whether he's above him or not, I don't know, or whether it's because he's it's to do with structures, I think, that's where this
Yeah.
Priestley is, as opposed to the general parks manager. So, as I understand it.
I don't know exactly how they're structured, but I think Brian Dobson's email that was on the full council is very much so. Yeah, we're happy. Yeah, I'm happy,
Yeah,
but they've got to approve it. So you know,
up to somebody else, yeah.
yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, the SLA would have the certain things, you know, I mean, obviously the concerns
That's
that you
that's why
that would be
that's
on
what-
the
that's
SLA,
what-
wouldn't it, in terms of the maintenance and who's going to be looking after.
Yeah.
But if they send someone to us to say
Yeah.
what's the SLA and go, what you're putting in, we go,
And then obviously John's got the quotation from
Well,
and that would have a kind of a
well, it's
Plan.
not, it's not, it hasn't got any of that.
As in
It
yeah.
just has a sort of a spec of what it said on the quotation, what
Yeah.
they're going to do, actually, doesn't it?
But we just need
Well,
a bit more.
it's like 3 lines on the quotation, isn't it? It's not what they're going to do. I mean,
not
you know,
speculative, that.
where's,
Yeah.
where's the box going?
We just
Are
need a
they
bit
digging
more.
up half the park to put the cable through? Where's the actual electricity outlet in the bandstand going? We need.
Is that relevant to us? Like, if it's going to be on their
Of course it is, because that's what we're paying for.
If we pay for something, then we've got we've
yeah,
got
but
an
I
ownership
mean,
right to
where
it.
it actually goes.
No, but we need to know, don't we? If we're paying for something, we need to know what we're paying for.
Appropriate to ask these.
Yeah, go on.
Right, I've got a few concerns, John, so I hope you don't take it personally.
Oh,
yeah?
yeah, I will do. Yeah.
You will do. Well, I'm sorry about that, it's still coming, yeah? The electric what you want to put to the bandstand,
Yeah.
how do we know that the load which is going to be required? What ampage are you wanting to put to the bandstand and what load will be taken from it?
I don't know.
That's the reason why I'm asking questions.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware today,
Yeah.
outside sockets could only be 110. It's got to go through a transformer for health and safety because you've got members of the public plugging in amplifiers or whatever. There's only so many things you can plug into a lead
Right. Okay.
until it becomes
Overloaded.
a hazard.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's one of them. The floor, which you rightly mentioned, was another one.
Yeah.
The billing and the safety of the equipment, who's responsible? So obviously if Bradford
Well, this is
Council
all-
took responsibility,
Yeah. What we need
I
to
don't
know.
have an issue with it. Testing certificates, as far as I'm aware, they need testing every year.
There again, that would be
That'd be
then
there,
because
yeah.
if they're taking
But
on.
this needs to be all documented.
Yeah,
Upkeep and repairs, because obviously,
Bradford again.
referee.
yeah. I'd like to know where the electric was coming from and going to exactly.
I can only make an assumption there with the increased cost that it would come from that suburb right opposite here and go up from there.
Right.
Because initially Bradford Council estimated that the figure was going to be about 4,000 plus another 400, and then when it came, it was sort of 11,000. So
Yeah.
that was because I assume it's because it's going a long way, and they're going to have some traffic problems.
Right.
You know? Traffic management problems.
Yeah.
Next one is installation and design. Because when we fit cables, we put them in conduits, so if there's anything wrong, it's simply pulled from
Yeah,
one end and pulled at the other.
All I can tell you about that one, Andrew, is that obviously Northern Power Grid would put the mains in, that'd
Yeah.
be up to them,
Right.
and then from them, the original quote that I got was to put it through a 100 mil tube.
Ducting.
Right, ducting.
Duct, that's it, yeah. So that'll go in through ducting, yeah.
Because that's where the load came from. Obviously, when we fit ducting, we put draw cords through. So if there is a need for further
Subsequent,
load,
yeah.
you can simply, instead of digging the roads up or wherever in the park,
Yeah.
it's simply a draw cord pulled through. So that's why I'd ask for a specification. If you've got one, it's my mistake because I haven't seen it.
No, I don't know that.
But if I was quoted for something,
Yeah.
the specification is what I'm quoting for. So now I don't understand how they've given a quote for with no specification.
But my understanding is there was a specification, but Bradford did
Bra-
it
bra-
and put it out to
Oh,
their-
they spec'd it themselves.
Yeah,
You see,
Right.
I'll just say, I mean, I've done a lot of this. What I wanted to do, it didn't happen, but what I wanted to do, I have actually contacted 3 contractors. This is before we found out that it had to have a new mains in.
Yeah.
I actually I took one quote which were from Charlestown.
Mhm.
2 others that were, I got a list of Bradford Council contractors.
Contractors, yeah,
So
yeah.
I contacted 2 off of that list. I actually met one here and told him what we wanted, and he quoted. He didn't quote to me, he said he'd get in touch with this guy who's actually sent the quote in to us.
Yeah.
Spoke to him, and what he's done is he's gone back to the contractors and said, this is what you need to do. I mean, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks and I heard nothing. It was, through the process, it's been sort of, after a month, I've rung up again.
Yeah.
What's happening? And basically, I just got this thing through with that big number on
Yeah.
it. And within that, I had a conversation with him, and basically he said that he's been to the three contractors, including the two other 3, or all the 3 that I had suggested, and he'd got, and this was the overall quote, and that's how much it was going to be.
Bradford Council no fools. They should look into the security and safety of the project and installation and design and maintenance problems,
Yeah.
because they're going, and we're paying for something we don't want to be destroyed because of inadequate
No.
provisions in the first place.
It's a joint venture with Bradford Council, isn't it?
well,
Effectively.
A lot of my
It
concerns
should
would be
be.
erased if
It
Bradford
should
Council
be.
took this responsibility
Well,
on.
to me, Andrew,
But quoting for something that I haven't got a drawing for, I don't know anything about, is
Difficult.
just a little bit difficult for me to get my head around.
yeah.
No.
But as I say, if we have
so I think retrospectively we need to go back and get this stuff. So
We need a meeting with
we can have-
Bradford
we
to
can have a
clarify.
look at-
There needs to be a meeting across the table because emails don't make much
No,
sense.
and then we need a serious meeting.
Look 'em in the eyes to make sure we-
them taking it all on.
Yeah,
To look
yeah,
after it once
correct.
once it's in.
Because I'd like
place.
to know where the equipment that's going in the bandstand was actually going to be fixed up. Because at this moment when I looked in it, it's rather dropping to pieces, and the Bradford Council have really neglected it.
Yeah.
The floor is in a shocking state. And all it needs is a little saw to go along with a little screwdriver and stick it in
Love
the
the
socket, and then we could be liable. If Bradford take it on, then I'll be a lot happier.
Yeah.
well,
Well,
me too. But I mean,
I can't believe they let us do it anyway.
the long and short of it is that has to happen. So end of.
What has to happen?
That Bradford Council have to
Yes.
sign up because
Yeah.
that's what we've agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all been passed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We can't go any farther
No.
until that certificate's been done. But we need to be
We need to build
to satisfy everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other thing as well, with John, I think what we should do is with the contractor, I mean, if he does take on that job, that he needs to work with Bradford Council and they come to it, I mean, obviously,
It's
then everything's kind of covered
There
from
needs, to
both
be a
sides.
there needs to be a proper design
Yeah,
drawing
so
drawn
it's
up
kind of
from point A to point
that
B.
they-
Yeah.
Size of cable, size of conduit,
that,
the electrical equipment and sighting areas.
then the contractor will
There
work in
again,
the spec,
I-
Bradford Council spec, whatever they
you should
have.
You should never assume, but this is the whole point that I'm trying to make to you, that they've all quoted on the same spec. I don't know what the spec is because that's only Bradford Council, but that's the spec that Dave Wells has put out to the contractors.
Yep.
That's what happened in the first place. I got a quote, then when I rung after a week to ask this other company if they'd got a quote, because my idea was for us to decide who we're going to do it. But then they said, can't do that because it has to, we've all quoted for different things.
Right.
For example, one chap said, oh, but you don't want that sort of box, or that we don't need to do that. So
So we need to know. We need to know what the spec is.
Yes.
But
Yeah, so-
fundamentally, we need to get the
Yeah.
spec so we understand
So-
what we're paying for,
so-
and then we need Bradford to agree to that.
So to meet a progressive, we, like you suggested, we need to talk to this Mick Priestley and tell him what we
What
would
we want.
like to see,
Yeah.
and see if they can play. Okay.
On the SIL money, have we got a timeline for what we have to spend?
Not. Well, we spent most because I've
Well,
spent
it-
6,000. Some of the first 9,000 were to be spent. I think this year, but I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah,
No.
it's 2018-19, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
got to be spent
yeah.
within 5 years.
And you got
It's
5
got to
years.
be the coming financial year.
Yeah, we're not really, yeah. Yeah, you said, I'm mindful that we don't want to lose,
We spent most of that anyway.
yeah, because you can't carry it over, can you?
No.
That's right.
Well, this is why I've done all this.
Okay.
Because everybody's sweating about that we weren't going to spend it, and now I'm trying to spend it. I can't spend it.
No, well,
No,
I'm
I
just,
can't.
I'm just mindful Bradford might, they can delay things, can't they? Because they can be slow in responding. That's my worry.
That was my main concern. What to do with the timeline of the SIL money? It was to do with the timeline of the contract.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's come now that the main Northern Power Grid one's 90 days, and the other one was open, as I understood it.
Yeah.
It's come in an email, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It
so 90 days.
It all depends how long Bradford faff about putting stuff together,
It does.
getting documentation.
Well, they
not-
should have the documentation because they should be there that what people
Yeah.
have quoted against, and it should be what the quotes have come back.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe that they've come back.
But then there
If,
might
if
be
Bradford didn't do a drawing for the specs, you would imagine that they're doing a drawing now, or you would
There
hope
must
they're
be
doing
one somewhere.
There might be some to and froing because who's going to look after the bandstand floor, who's going to repair it,
Well,
who's going to do
you
it, you
know,
know
Well,
what I mean?
that's
These
Parks-
turn-
that's all part-
that ain't our baby, is it?
No,
That's
but
Parks
we don't,
Depart-
they won't
that's-
put it in unless the place is got some integrity with it to use it.
Well,
You know,
no, if we're paying,
Yeah.
they could well put it in. But that's one of my concerns, that we pay to put it in, and then after 2, 3, 4 months, the
Floor
bandstand's
drops through.
unusable for
Kids have set it on fire.
God knows how long.
We've been bricking it the other day, haven't we? On
Yeah.
slates.
Isn't this a sort of project that we ought to also liaise with our own Begley district councillors to get them on board?
I've mentioned that Jeff were happy to take it on,
They
but,
are.
but at
They
this
all
stage
think
we
it,
don't.
they all think it's a good
Everybody
idea.
thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah,
The devil's in the detail, Robert.
yeah.
That's where that's
All
from.
right, I understand. Let's see the detail then.
Not yet, no. That's it. That's the problem.
Are we sorted then?
I think
Yeah.
we're sorted. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
we're
We've
sorted.
got a start. We've got a plan to go forward.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we've got a plan. 22, 23, 176, policies and procedures to review the following policies and procedures. Allotments policy, you've got it. Like I said earlier, we'll probably have to make some further changes depending upon the outcome of the consultation with people. But if there's anything currently in there that you don't agree with, shout up now.
Not that I don't agree with. I think we just ought to expand on the role of the site representative,
Well, that's the bit where
which is really the main criteria from my point of view.
Yeah.
That's part of the bit that we're waiting for the outcome of the consultation, because one of the things we've said in the consultation is, do they think the site rep role is working? Do they want to keep it? Do they want to form an allotment association? Would they rather have just direct contact with us? So we can't finalise that bit.
So we're giving them the option, rather, yeah.
Yeah.
The consensus yesterday was they'd like to speak to us individually because we have an allotment manager or whatever their name is, not to be rude.
Yeah.
But she doesn't represent the whole. She represents a minority. My idea is
Yes,
so
yes,
they
yes,
can all
sorry, I
speak
was
for
getting mixed up.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if everyone
I-
can speak for themselves, it just stops any of this nonsense carrying on.
That I agree 100% on that.
So
Because
that-
you can be quite dictatorial.
Yeah.
So that bit may change
I think it needs. Well, I think yeah. I mean,
significantly, but we haven't changed any of it so far.
no. But
because-
if they want a representative, then we should make sure that it's on a rolling basis, that they're elected and probably done in a
Yeah.
proper way. So
Yeah.
because it's not, is it? She's taking it on board and
She-
thinks she's it.
well,
So when I
that's
spoke to the
because
people in the allotment,
she
they
has
actually
been in
liked John's
place.
idea of actually
years.
moving this communal site. They actually liked it. The majority of the people that are there.
All right.
But if she entered the room, it would be different.
Yeah.
So that's why I would like people to speak for themselves.
Well, we'll see what comes back.
out,
yeah. Yeah.
Back through the
Yeah, it'll be on the
through-
next full council for approval,
through-
won't it?
Right, so we need to
It might, yeah, we'll see. It
Well, I
should
liked
be.
it all in principle.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll skip up past the allotments then. The financial risk assessment policy.
Yeah.
Anybody got
I
any?
don't think there's anything untoward
I
there.
think I've read that. Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
proposing acceptance of
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
we propose that.
Okay.
It probably will need to be changed again as well, so but it'll go to full council, because it's something we'll be discussing later on about the toilet cash.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
It'll be
okay.
as is now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So agreed in principle.
yes,
I think on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Okay, the grant funding scheme guidelines and criteria,
Yeah, propose that same, isn't it?
it is the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
propose that then.
I'll second
Yeah.
it.
Seconded off, I've heard.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just the dates, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to note the fire procedures and
Right.
receive an update on related staff
Before we leave
training.
this building, tell us how to turn an alarm off at Eve, because I still haven't been told.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, we're all doing online training. In fact, Debbie and Nicola have both done theirs. So
Alright.
it's just me to do it now.
What, to tell you how to turn an alarm off?
No, for the fire procedures.
Because
right out the window.
Howdy, if he gets caught that in, you've got to dive out there, haven't you?
I know.
Just on this policy, I'm sure I won't find it now, but I'm sure when I was ready it says school at one place. So if you search
In
it, for
fire procedures,
yeah.
does it? Right, okay.
oh yeah, fire extinguishers are available in the school and offices.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the anti-arson, part of the 5-point action plan. So if you could just,
Right, I'll change that.
I wonder where this policy came from.
Yeah, I wonder who did it. I wonder who did it, I know who did it.
But in terms of what it says, do we actually do these things?
Yeah, that's it.
Are we doing the daily checks? Are we doing? If I walked in one day and just picked on someone at random and says, "What do you use that there fire extinguisher for?" What sort of response would I get?
Well, Debbie and Nicola would be able to answer you because they've done the training, but don't ask me today.
Well, it depends what colour they are, doesn't
I'll be
it?
looking for a sticker on side to tell me.
Look at colour, it tells whether it's black or it's cream
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
That's what
No,
the
they're all
training
red
goes
these
through.
days, aren't they?
No,
Little stickers on side that tell you.
There is a coloured sticker on them. That tells you. They used to be black, but you'll find there's a black sticker on it that tells you which,
It's a
whether it's
CO2.
C2 or what
Yeah.
CO2 or whatever it is.
So as long as we are doing the necessary checks, we're only noting that anyway, aren't we? So thank you. We'll move on then. 22, 23, 177 risk management to identify any new or unacceptable levels of risk to the town council. Has anybody got any new risks?
None that I'm aware of.
No. Okay. So 22, 23, 178. Date of the next meeting. So Wednesday the 12th of April, 6:30 here.
Okay.
That'll be the
Okay.
last meeting, won't it, for this council?
Is that for full council, yeah?
Yeah,
And then after that it'll be a new council.
it'll be whatever the formation of the new council
Yeah,
is.
whatever it
Okay, so 22, 23 to 179 exclusion of the press and public. Stop the no,
Very
let's stop the
well, fair, yeah.
recording.